Good morning and welcome to Faces Pat Paints. Having technical difficulties as usual. Yeah, I'm not like a tech guy. If you're new around here, it's just not much tech. I kind of these live ones are always a little bumpy. Something always kind of gets a little edgy for me. But I guess that's live, really. I've watched a lot of the live streams, and there's always something that seems to be going on. I cut all my hair off. Well, I mean, technically, Kristen cut it off, but I asked her to do it. But I cut it all off, so it's gone. So there's that. That's exciting. And that's about all me we're gonna talk about. We got a lot of stuff to do today. So first off, I'm gonna straighten me down. I'm gonna turn on that paint camera, and then we've got this new open sign. Let me get myself lined up here. Ooh, gotta get everything used to it. Looks like I think I've got a little bit more room. I can move around on there. I'm still working on that. So, but hopefully that's fun and it's all running properly. But that should be music that I mixed myself to kind of go into the channel just for fun. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Beersley, and good morning, anybody else joining. But yeah. So I cut all the hair off. It was getting hot playing soccer with the kids. Oh, it was just so hot, and it's starting to get into my face and like in my eyes. It was hard to see what I was doing. And I was like, man, now I remember why I cut my hair. All right, so starting out with a fresh palette. Let that soak for just a touch longer while we let that kind of set up for a second. We take a look at what else we got. So we're working on these samurai. I've got this guy, and I put his swords on because. So, the reason you want to put something like this together. This is the one we finished yesterday. Like if it's a thing where like there were slots and things like that, you could paint all the pieces and then put it together, kind of like we do with the 3D models. But this, the way these particular things go together, the glue has to melt plastic, and you don't really want it to melt the paint, so you kind of have to put them together and paint them, which has its own series of unfortunate sides. But we're working on this for a new video. He looks great. It's kind of hard to see him when they're so white like that. The camera doesn't grab the details. But they've got, for an older model kit, this has got a lot of fun details. He came with a drum, and I did a lot of work on this drum to get it to look a little bit more realistic and not just two pieces that were glued together in a little stand. That stand was pretty crazy. That came in 5 pieces. I had to put all that together, which was fun. And then this was like missing a piece, so I had to build this part out of wood. I don't know if it's missing or if you're supposed to do that, because like the instructions are in Japanese. So, but like when you look at the picture, it has a number, so it makes me think that it was missing. It's like this piece was there, but it's gone. So I replicated it out of some wood and some wire. So anyway, that'll be in the new video. We've got one more of those figures to build, and he's got like the most parts. So yeah, okay, that's gonna be exciting. Anyway, it's weird not having music over on my end. I'm totally not used to that. I see you're into the memeing of 40K. So okay, the Magnus. Did Magnus do anything wrong? There's a lot of strange parts to 40K that aren't apparent on the surface, but you have to look way deep into it to really kind of get the idea. Magnus did things that were wrong, absolutely, but did he do those things because the Emperor needed him to do those things. I don't know. There's a lot more to all it than is on the surface. Because he could have done things differently, but in his arrogance, he took the thing too far, and instead of trying another avenue, he forced open a door. So Magnus did wrong, but the Emperor did wrong. That was as a father, that is definitely something I can understand with a little bit different perspective, when both the father and the son are equally at fault for something and angry with each other. Because then in the end, you have to remember that whatever kind of creature the Emperor actually is, human or not, he does display emotional reaction. Not all the time, but on occasions. Have you seen The Last Church or read The Last Church? Yeah, no, you haven't read it. You can look up an animation for it. It's really cool. And it's the Emperor he's at the last church on Earth before he smashes out religion and retakes the stars and goes on the crusade. It's crazy. But like, I don't know, man. I don't know. How's the music? Is the music level good? Since you're my ears on the other end, I can't actually hear it. I mean, I guess I could turn on my phone. Oh, that's wild. I could turn on my phone and use that to reply to chats. I never thought about that. That's crazy. That's a whole lot different now. Music level's good. Fantastic. That's what I like to hear. Awesome. So, we need this one. Hopefully the tunes are all right. I think I did okay. I haven't done anything like that in like a long time. And trying to mix up, I got like 24 some odd minutes of music on there. It'll loop, and I'll add to it as I can mix it. But I figure at 24 minutes we've got, it's only gonna start replaying itself like twice, which is fine for an hour. Okay. It's so strange not having music online. I might need to get like an earpiece and then listen to it on my phone as I'm going. That would be the way to go, right? I mean, honestly, to be able to hear both. That's awesome. Cool. Yep, I can hear myself when I talk. Okay. Anyway, what are you doing with my paintbrushes? Oh yeah, they're over here. I was keeping them as far away from the glue as possible. Here's the 4. I need the 3. 730. Yeah, we're let's see. Could you choose a Primarch? Oh, you got all the questions today. That's awesome. To serve under Parliament. Oh man, yeah, Gilliman, Vulcan, and man, Russ. Heck no, man. You listen, if you're gonna serve under somebody, Gilliman, because of like what you're supposed to do. There's no question. You know your job. That's it. You know your job. But like Vulcan, their humanity is great. They got a lot of good vibes and things like that to it. Like that's why you would go with Vulcan. But like, man, you'd want to hang out with Russ. Have you heard the story of how the Emperor got Russ to join the legions? Have you looked that one up yet? That is some of the funniest. Oh my god, it's so dumb. My middle son plays Space Wolves. We have a bunch of Space Wolves around here. He's got like a full army. He's just got to build them and paint them. Oh jeez, man. I don't want to tell the whole story because I'll ruin it because I can't remember it all. But you got to look up the story. Like I'll tell you this one part of it. The Russ, like literally, I think he outdrinks the Emperor if I remember right. Like they get into a drinking contest, and like it's crazy. All right, so upon drawing, I definitely realized this is going to have to be a lot lighter. We just need it almost white on that side. That might be a little too light. That might be a little too light. There we go. That's more like it. There we go. So I'll try to set to where that X is like my filming spot. My chair gets moved around when I stand up. It's wild having nothing playing. I wonder how low I can play stuff over here without it showing up on my mic. This needs to be a little darker here. You can just wet blend right on there. Because we got to consider that light source. Think about where that's coming from. Come from behind this section. So over here, our shadow's going to be deeper. Yeah, it's crazy. Definitely look up Russ. Man, and don't skip on Dorn. Dorn's interesting. But like, and also, okay, so are you talking pre-heresy or post-heresy? Because like pre-heresy, yeah, Adeptus Mechanicus is cool. Oh, I scrubbed those Mechanicus models. I should pull them out. So anywho, pre-heresy, you'd want to be a lunar wolf. Like, that's just hands down. You'd want to be a lunar wolf. You'd want to fight for Horus. He was hands down the best legion. Yeah, so like Horus before the fall, he was the best. That's what makes it so good. That's what makes him going down just like, oh man. Because he was so the good guy. He was everything you wanted to be. He had honor, he had dignity, he had grace. You know, the heresy starts with him trying to negotiate with this race of people, and Erebus takes advantage and steals this demonic weapon and they blame sorry, they blame the Astartes that are there for the werewolves to take the blame for it, and because yeah, it's crazy, and it starts off a war, all because Erebus stole this blade that eventually gets used to stab Horus, and that's how the heresy starts. But no, you want to be, once you read the heresy or you listen to the heresy on podcast or audio, whatever, which I definitely, it's long, and I like listening to stuff when I'm painting, so I listen to audiobooks a lot of the time. I have part of the Horus heresy on audio. And sometimes I just listen to Luton or any of the other guys. Adeptus Ridiculous is good. But yeah, pre-heresy Horus is a good one. I mean, heck, even the Emperor's Children, they had really good people in their ranks. That's what's so wild about the heresy, man. Is that like they're not before the heresy, those legions had loyalists in it, but they had a massacre. Like they actually set them up and tricked them into into getting destroyed. It almost decimated the Raven Guard. The Raven Guard almost got completely obliterated because of it. It's called the Drop Site Massacre. It's crazy. Well, because again, the Lost Legions are just there's parts of 40k that are meant to remain unknown. Because you have to remember, and in the end, it's a game. And it's a game that in its beginnings thrived on like customization and such. So like you have to leave these Lost Legions out there because it allows for like a player to say, oh, mine's from the Lost Legion, and kind of make up stuff in their head, because not everybody goes to the game store and plays this stuff. A lot of the guys, they play this stuff with their friends, or sometimes it's kids playing it with their families. Yeah, it just kind of there's some stuff that will always remain a little bit more, mysterious, and that's cool. I mean, I think it's great. I like the idea that you leave that up to your imagination. See, I'm off my target again. It's just better that way. You want to. Yeah. Well, that's the fun thing is there's some theories out there. There was a battle with a species that they kind of don't allow them to talk about, And there's some snippets here and there about, like, Horus mentioning the Lost Legions and stuff like that, and the reactions are never good from a lot of the people that were there. It's just kind of something they don't talk about, because whatever happened, it was bad. Some people, some theories say that they started mixing with Xenos. Now, what that means, who knows? But some of it is, you know, you got to remember this company's British, and so it's run by British folks, and like they love nostalgia, and so some of it is literally it'll stay that way forever because that's the way it always was and should always be. You should always leave that little air of mystery. Now that they're bringing the Primarchs back, I think that that'll be their last little bit, is that they'll always leave the Lost Legions as the Lost Legions. Some people say that the Legion of the Damned is the Lost Legions, but I don't think so. My theory on that is that they're closer to like the angels of the Emperor. They're like demons of the Emperor. They're warp entities in and of themselves, but they're bound to the Emperor, not the ruinous powers. My throat's rough today. So yeah, there's a lot of those theories that bounce around. Some of them that they got destroyed in a war. There's also some people. There's talk that there was a heresy before the Horus heresy, that they had turned traitor. The Primarchs were scattered. So like, when the Primarchs were like created and grown in the labs, they were scattered by her name's Arda, I think. It's another one of these things that are these entities called perpetuals. And now you're getting deep off. The perpetuals, they don't really die. They get reborn. The Emperor is they rumored to be a perpetual. There's other perpetuals. Vulcan is a perpetual. So like, oh man, golly, it gets crazy. So for whatever reason, and the reason honestly is unknown, because everyone in 40K is an unreliable narrator. There isn't anybody in 40K that's telling you anything in any story or book that you should treat as 100% canon, because they're unreliable narrators, all of them, every single one. So like, and it's written that way a lot of times. The best of the books are written that way, because you know you're relying on the words of, you know, the Alpha Legion, or you're relying on the words of, you know, what this person says and what that person says, and sometimes they turn it over and they show you that the truth that you thought it was is wrong. Oh yeah, we're gonna, as we layer this up, it'll really start coming to life. It's kind of got, it's almost got the Harry Potter face right there. It's the naming hat. Gryffindor. God, now I can't unsee it. Oh man. Oh man. Golly, that's funny. Oh man. Yeah, well, it's gonna pop out. I gotta lighten it up a lot. It may even need to go a step lighter than this, but I kind of like the darkness of it. Well, I mean, that's kind of like, I mean, I guess that's what's her name? I'm pretty sure she's like super transphobic and stuff, so I'm pretty sure she doesn't want a girlfriend. Or maybe she does, and she just doesn't know how to deal with it. I don't know. Not my issues at all. I've been to the if you go to Edinburgh, there is a place called Greyfriars Abbey. And in Greyfriars Abbey, there are a bunch of gravestones. And if you go a looking, you can find several of the characters there. Harry Potter and all those other ones. Like she took those names from tombstones in Edinburgh. Which is pretty crazy. But, you know, Edinburgh has a long tradition of stealing things from the dead in the graves. If you don't know anything about Burke and Hare, I live next to a town called Hare, for those of you who don't know anything about Oklahoma. So, Burke and Hare, let me remember this story real quick, because it's a good one. They would steal cadavers out of fresh graves and sell it to the surgical college in Edinburgh, and they were basically grave robbers. And at first, and then they started murdering people. Maybe is what they. One of them said that they did and blamed it all on the other, and got away, as they say, scot-free. Because he didn't have to face trial, and he ran away to Ireland or the Americas. I can't remember which. But that's the fun part about, Edinburgh. There's a lot of fun stuff in Edinburgh. But yeah, J.K. Rowling, she took those names from grave sites in Edinburgh. How about that? Make sure we're painting these little bits here. Yeah, I don't know if my music is any better or worse than anybody else's, but I know that we won't have any commercials. I finally found a way to get all the way away from commercials, which makes me, like, ridiculously happy. Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, I let people have their own opinions for sure. I used to think that it was important to try and convince people of things, but now I there's no really great. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get like something that just like backgrounds out and yeah, nothing too crazy. We'll build up on that as we go. We'll add more, you know, more to them, and it kind of keeps. I might even like change the sign thing to have it say different stuff. We'll move that stuff around. So, yeah, a couple of other little things to do as we get better and better, and improve the overall quality. I think I'm finally starting to figure a lot of this out, which is great because it's like as I get better at this, it allows me to focus more on the painting side of it, which is what we really want. It's kind of nice. I can hear the birds chirping and all sorts of stuff outside. I kind of like living out in the country. At first, I would get annoyed because there's a lot of sounds at night, but I totally got used to all that. We also have a pond not too far from the house, so like, man, let me tell you, bullfrogs in the spring yell loud. But you kind of get used to it. I don't like her. Yeah, fair enough. I mean, yeah, I don't really like any time that when they treat the people who do the work harshly. There's no need for that, you know. But you know, it's the way things go. Unfortunately, we just gotta kind of hopefully better heads prevail and things get better over time. And we just gotta you teach your kids better, and that's really all you can do. You can just try to teach your kids to be more human than the generation that came before us. I mean, honestly, if you look at the progress that's been made on a lot of fronts over the decades, it's pretty cool. Like you're like, oh man, no, there's a lot has been done. You know, it's not enough, and we've got to keep going, make things better for everybody in the world. But you know, you definitely gotta, yeah, you gotta let people have their opinions. You're not gonna you change things generationally, man. That's how you do it, and humans aren't inclined to be hateful people. You know, J.K. Rowling wrote those books after like her divorce. Like she started out those books in the middle of her divorce, so there was like a painful place she was coming from. So it's very personal to her, you know. And unfortunately, her politics have gotten wrapped up in it, and that it's never good for a fictional universe. Because I mean, unless that universe really deals with politics, but the Harry Potter stuff definitely isn't a whole lot of political stuff. It's just kind of fanciful. But yeah, there's a, you know, I don't know. She's an interesting character. For sure. Yeah, man, you should definitely not gatekeep your kids from having a better life. Like, that is real. And it feels like sometimes people can do that, and that's unfortunate. But by and large, people aren't that way. I think we're getting ready to find that out. You can't run things being awful for long. People get tired of it. We all were in a dark place. The pandemic was rough. Things were crazy. It's, you know, I think things will change. I don't know if it's going to change for the better, but I think people are going to try to make it better. And society ebbs and flows that way too. You look throughout history, you see that time and time again. The problem is when people are marginalized to when they used to be not marginalized, it makes them react, and that's how it goes. Unfortunately, a lot of the parts of what they happen in our society are that way. People edge and ebb and flow, and things that used to be a big part of society kind of just change, and sometimes it's just hard to keep up with it, and it scares the crap out of people. I mean, it scared the crap out of me. I'm still trying to recover from everything I did. It was all the cooking. It was what I did, you know. And I really gotta be careful about cooking nowadays. If I'm in the smoke too long, I'm gonna have trouble breathing the next day, like all day. So I gotta be careful. I still love to cook here around the house and stuff like that. But I've even kind of changed what we cook and how we cook it, just so I can stay away from the things that trigger my condition. It's crazy. That's funny. All because this silly hat looks like that sorting hat. That was a tangent. We got off a big rant. But it do look like it. It does look like it. Yeah. Well, I think most normal people kind of can separate the two. The problem is like all you ever hear about is the non-normal people, the people that take everything to the big extremes. It's because our grandparents used to say the squeaky wheel gets the grease, right? And it's true. It's still true. It'll always be true. People who cause a scene and complain a lot are the ones that get listened to the most because, well, they're the ones complaining, and it just kind of it spirals into other situations. You know, it can get out of control, which is why you have like the Karening and stuff like that. You get these people who kind of target people who complain, and you know sometimes it is people that are just always complaining. Sometimes it's people who had a bad day and you know they lost their minds for a second, you know, and then unfortunately people start agitating the situation because that's what we do. We agitate as people. It's kind of a human trait to agitate things. Heck, I don't even think I think it's a primal thing. There's lots of creatures that will agitate other parts of their pride or pack or troop just to agitate, especially people that they perceive as the enemy. So you get a lot of people that are willing to be provocateurs and stuff. That's just nature. It's unfortunate, but it's just what it is. So much blue, so much blue. Yeah, very few, a very vocal minority. Yeah. Yeah, and that's, you know, some people just go through their lives like that. It's on them. I don't know what to tell. I don't know what to do for them. I've gotten a lot more patient with them as I've gotten older. I'm just like, oh, okay. There's lots of people that do it. I think it's easier now that I'm not in the business, the restaurant business. I'm not in the business of being super customer forward. So I just get to be polite. I don't, you know, there's not a lot of rude people jumping on my feed right now talking about how horrible my show is. It was a whole lot different when I was doing that all the time, having to deal with somebody didn't like the dish or whatever. I think I can afford to be a little bit more patient because I'm just not being whooped on. And that's another part is that, you know, customer service people, they spend their whole day getting whooped on. After a while, they're going to have a problem. You know, sometimes it's just a miscommunication between two people escalates into a massive issue that didn't even really need to happen, but did, you know. Part of that's that attention span thing we were talking about earlier. People have just lost that. They've lost that ability to give people common grace. And that's a big problem. need to get back to being able to give people grace and say, okay, or here's a little bit. I'm gonna be a little bit more patient and find out exactly what you're trying to say before I jump the shark and run down your throat. Because now you've just got like divided lines, you know, between a certain kind of clientele and the folks that are trying to serve them. Yeah, yeah. Well done and dry. Yeah, that's. You just have to go out there and you say, okay, I'm terribly sorry, madam. Would you like us to go ahead and recook that steak? Then you need to just come back and tell me, the chef, like, this lady didn't realize what she was really ordering. What she wants is this. And the chef's like, it's, oh, God. Those are so hard. You always have to bring up the hard ones, don't you, Shay? Oh God, that's rough. That's a rough one. I don't know. That one's a rough one. Bro. Oh, they're hard. Those are hard ones to deal with. They're hard. It was like went right up my spine. As a chef, you kind of got to just breathe and just remake this lady's steak, because if you don't, you're going to be all over social media. And you just have to breathe and realize that they don't really know what they're talking about. Usa. It can get pretty crazy. I want a rare prime rib, seasoned and rare. Oh, seasoned and seared. Oh. Yeah, man, the best we're going to be able to do with that is like maybe a medium rare, maybe. Like that's, yeah, you're just, because of how hot those flat tops are to sear it. Man, people are weird. It is. A lot of times they just don't understand what they're talking about. But you can't, everyone's kind of gotten to the point where they feel like they know what they're talking about so much that you can't really get them to listen. It is rough. Food service is rough. I definitely don't miss some of it. There's parts of it I really do. There's some that I just don't miss. That kind of stuff right there. I do not miss that. I do not miss that at all. I got a couple places I want to touch those crystals up. This is why we made those marks the other day. So you kind of remember how far this light is supposed to go. More scams. Golly, I think I get a lot. Am I getting old? Is that why I get all these scams? Is it because I'm old? Oh my god! I think I just figured something out. I'm old. Oh my god! Because man, they're relentless. Like, no, I don't want to buy. I don't want to buy anything you're selling. I don't know what it is you want to buy from me, or sell me, or convince me of. But I'm not interested in any of it. But man, they just keep calling and calling. They're calling me. Yeah, the industry will definitely make you learn how to be patient, especially once you like get out of the industry. You definitely have a whole lot more patience. Because again, it's not being tested on a regular basis. But the world be testing people, man. The whole world. Like I was just saying, those constant phone calls where they're trying to sell you on some scam. It's never ending. It's like you can see how people start kind of going crazy, and you're like, oh man, let's try to all calm down here a little bit, and we're gonna let better minds prevail and clear heads come together and figure this out. So let's chill out. Let our better nature take care of things. But most people don't. They just want to fight. I don't know why. Probably because we're, in the end, we're animals. Yeah, I think everybody does. That's how you know though that like somebody's falling for it, you know? Somebody's falling for it. They wouldn't continue to do it if somebody wasn't falling for it. So like that's why I kind of give people that grace where I'm just kind of like, okay, well maybe you're just one of those kind of people that fell for it and you're angry about life and that you don't understand that life isn't about what you thought it was about and it's about something else. And now you're in a place you don't want to be, doing a thing you don't want to do. You know, they're not just talking about those kind of phone calls. We're talking about the kind of people that get suckered into those, you know, or you're now to a point where it seems legit to you because you're too old to see what's happening to you. You know what I mean? You get taken for that ride because now you didn't recognize the fraud in it until it's too late. It's crazy. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, it's 1 out of 100 people, but you never know who it is. You never know who that is. The person that is, you never know. It'd probably shock you. That might be a little too far down. An ultra white needs to be all the way through this area. How far up can we go here? That's about the limit. Okay, shoe. Oh man, we got so much soccer this weekend. I think Alistair's got 3 games. So the team I'm coaching has 3 games. Okay, so this is coming right here, coming right there. It's gonna catch all this. Oop, that's too white. At least too white for now. We might make that white like that later. Kind of sometimes you have to like move that mall around, take a look at what's going on, so you can get it right. So all of this is going to get hit with light. We're going to have a bit of a shadow. Right here, this needs to be a little darker. And yeah, all this should be lighter. Yeah. All this. All right, man. Heck yeah. Go get a little extra money for that blood. Well, plasma. You know, I'm like I said, I got a lot of soccer to do. I'm gonna go deck out I got a bunch of stuff for my car to go Ubering in. I gotta put in there. And I gotta call around for a body shop because I accidentally backed into a damn pole. So I gotta figure out where to send this car to get body work done. Yeah. Just got that damn car. I didn't even see a stupid pole. I'm so stupid. So ridiculous. I'm so irritated about it. So all this is going to be darker. Oh man, we're past time. Again. Time flies when you're having fun. Just a few more of these little markers in. Heck yeah, man. Down Texas for a wine festival. That sounds like fun. So while she's gone, you're gonna go get some, gonna go donate some plasma and get some money and buy some cards. Are you supposed to be buying these cards? Or is she gonna wonder where you got these cards from? Oh, that's funny. Cards are in the OK zone. That's funny. Keeping with that frayed bit as much as we can. Anywhere it seems like they added that anyway. Looks like in a few places it's not as frayed as others. That frayed edge looks great. Last I looked, we were only like 2 away from 250. So if you like what you see and you kind of feel our banter and antics are amusing, or you want to get involved in the banter and antics yourself, you can always hit that like and subscribe. I hope that's out a lot. Keeps things motivated around here to keep doing what we're doing, and gets us closer to getting YouTube to pay for our art supplies, which is my overall goal. I would love to have YouTube pay for my art supplies. I've been saying that all along. I will say it again. I'll say it until we get to the point where they're doing it. Yeah, we have a lot of fun. Things we get better at what we do all the time. Yeah, I haven't looked since we started broadcasting today, but I know we picked up 2 more before we started, so we at least had that going for us, which is nice. We'll have to see where it's at now. Hopefully we picked up 1 or 2 more. But yeah. So that giant we're planning on painting on. I may do like a marathon. Like that would be. I think that might be fun. I think people might think that's entertaining. Where it's I just paint it till it's done. Which might kind of be harsh on me, but I think it'll be entertaining. Of course, back here in the very rear of the hat, we want it to be as dark as possible. That way it sits on her head. It'll have more of the glow in one space than the other. Still got a long way to go. At least one more hour on that hat. It's silly. But again, her hat is like half the size of her, so I feel like we're okay. But there we go. Bam. Anyway, hope you guys had a great day. I had a great day as usual. Always fun to be able to chat all sorts of strange and unusual things, and give opinions and stuff like that, and and real opinions, not like sugar coated opinions. Big hat, Logan's hat. Oh my, I don't I'm gonna have to look that one up. Big Hat Logan. So anyway, like I said, if you like what we do here, and you wanna help me get our YouTube to pay for what I do, totally give me a subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. We come to you live every day around 10 o'clock Central Standard Time. Unless I have doctor appointments or things like that. I'm getting old, as we previously discussed, so I do have to go and get my stuff checked out and stuff like that, which isn't fun, but that's okay. Anyway, hope you guys have a great day. I hope you have a great weekend. And let's see, we'll be back Monday. I don't think there's anything going on this Monday, so we'll be back Monday. Anyway, you guys have a great night. Thank you, Sir McBeardsley, for all your work. You're amazing. Thank you, Mr. Old, for providing this wonderful sculpture and all of the stuff that comes with his patronage of our channel, longtime patron. So yeah, definitely. So that's us for the day. Talk to you later. Bye.